boys are back in town. Season 4, episodes 1 through 4 are fully out. They Amazon released 1 through 3 right away, and then season 4, episode 4 just dropped. We want to talk about it. We have a lot to say.
It's so good, dude. I've missed The Boys.
The Boys is one of those shows that Amazon does where every time an episode drops, it's like, okay, it's time to watch The Boys.
Yeah, and every time you know it's going to be worse or crazier than the last one, and then you're still not ready for it.
It somehow does manage to build. I think this season's less shocking as season 3. Nothing beats the tick in the guy's place. But well, we're gonna get into
the
it.
Tick in the guy's place.
It was the tick, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, where he blows up his midsection.
Or he called him the termite. Was that what it was? The termite?
Yeah, I think
Anyway, that scarred me for life. I think.
Yeah, Herogasm.
Herogasm was bad.
Yeah.
Also, the whole Gen V thing with the lady on the guys.
Yes,
yeah,
dude.
That's
Gen
scarring.
V was wild too.
Yeah. So anyway, the boys are back. Like we said, we're gonna do a little bit of non-spoiler in the beginning right here, just to kind of get you appetites wet on if you should watch it or not. Obviously, you're a fan of the boys. You pretty much have to watch this. I think it's mandatory at this point. Halfway through the season, it's a total banger.
Yeah.
And I think Eric Kripke, he recently came out and said this is the second to last season of the boys.
Yeah, and I remember I was reading that they said that season 4 was going to be a lot more introspective because they wanted to get a lot of the story beats down so that they could go almost full action-packed in season 5 for just like an all-out fight against Homelander. I'm assuming it's going to be the final guy.
Just to compare this to the Invincible show, like next season for both these shows will be just nonstop action, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that we have to compare the evil Superman shows.
No. I'm just saying that like the Prime has been cooking when it comes to the originals, and the fact that Eric Kripke was able to take the boys and do something about it being better than its source material.
Yeah.
Like, I love Invincible. It's not better than the comics, unfortunately. You know what I mean? But it's still a great show.
Agree.
But then The Boys is better than its comic run.
I read a little bit of The Boys, and I was like, this is not...
No,
hold it up.
It feels like someone in 2007, like, reactionary Twitter. You know what I mean? They were just writing anything that would get a reaction from the audience kind of thing.
Which I kind of think this show is a little bit... I mean, it's political. It's always been political.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people being like, this show is making fun of Republicans?
Yeah,
what?
and it's like, what? Have you been watching?
It also makes fun of, the Democrat side, too. A lot. Like,
I think this one just focuses more on,
But like even like you'll just notice like bits like even like the soup that pops people's heads is sort of like an AOC type character.
Yeah,
Homelander's kind of like a Trump type character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's I think it's doing a good job at hitting both sides of the mark. But like there's bad on both sides. Like we're not even like the good guys in the show are
Robert
bad.
Singer is the proverbial Democrat. And he's still kind of a bad person.
Yeah, Homelander called him like a libtard.
Yeah, dude. Like it's just don't take it too personally, dude. Just watch the show and enjoy it.
Just that's what art's supposed to do. It's supposed to help you look inside. And kind of realize what your own problems are.
Yeah.
And kind of the show does a lot of like, information control and stuff. There's a new character, Sister Sage, in this season. She does brings a lot of that stuff into
Sister
it.
Sage. They said, Vought had to put some racial names up there on that.
Yeah. It's like someone with your color has to have some kind of qualifier. It's like, ooh. It's like... Anyway, so I totally recommend the first 4 episodes especially, but I can't wait to see the next 4 episodes before we get into spoilers and stuff.
Yeah. So now that we're in spoiler territory, let's talk about Butcher and then let's talk about Homelander, our 2 heavy hitters for the series.
Oh, mate, what's the job?
I don't think he's got the best accent.
I think it's like that on purpose.
Yeah, Carl Urban, though, I love him so much.
I do too, and I think that I love like the bulldog, like the whole English persona he's got going on. But it is, I think it's bad Cockney on purpose.
Yeah.
But I just got to believe that. It may be not,
Yeah, so we're seeing some struggles with Carl, Jimmy's mom. We're seeing some problems with Butcher. The boys group has basically just disowned him. He's a dick. They're like, we don't like you anymore. We're done with you.
I totally get it, too, because in the last couple seasons, he's done nothing except, do what he wants to do.
Exactly.
Do his own thing. And then now consequences have matched up with him.
Yeah, and people are just tired of taking it from him.
Yeah, but you do see, I guess he's got like dying remorse or whatever since he's got
he's got Becca showing up.
That's really concerning.
Yeah.
But it's good because she's like keeping him on track.
She's he's like, hey, if you're not going to do anything else before you die, you're saving Ryan. You're saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. And we also see him like doing things in the right way.
Yeah.
Noodle's making a cameo here. We see him not drug Ryan. We also see him. There was something else he was going to do. He was going to steal some of Huey's information and delete it.
Yes, or send it to. He was going to send it to the girl.
The
what's her name?
And then he ends up showing her like the
His
goatee image
butthole.
instead.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that was she didn't know what she was getting until she saw it.
Oh yeah, so it's like the actress's performance
Yeah,
was real.
she
yeah.
was just like, "Oh my god!" And Eric Kripke was like, "You know what would be funny? Send her a butthole pic. That'd be great."
Well, it's even funnier in context because like Butcher approached her about a team up.
Yeah,
She's like, okay, but like only if there's there's a sheer destruction or whatever. So like
Yeah.
I need all that stuff gone. And he was like, all right, I'll help you. And then he just sends her a bottle picture. It's so confusing for her.
Oh man.
But
So yeah, Butcher's kind of not the leader, but still trying to get the job done.
he's definitely, I think, he's like, oh, I got a plan. Like
Yeah.
he's trying to get back in there. But
Yeah.
Marvin is his name?
Yeah, Mother's Milk.
Mother's Milk, he's in there. He's the leader now, which I actually prefer him as a leader. I think he is
Yeah.
a better suited for the lead of the role. You know?
Yeah.
Because Butcher is sort of like a lone wolf at most of the time. Like he
Yeah.
does his own stuff. You know?
And it's better now because he's not the leader.
That's true. I do agree. And it's better, honestly, that he's just like sort of loosely affiliated with the group. Like he's not even
Absolutely.
like, compromising them. He's just there if they need help,
Absolutely. So then we got Homelander though on the other side, who's just
Wait. We got to talk about the worms.
oh yeah.
So Butcher's got like some kind of death. Homelander looks at him and he's like, got 6 months?
Yeah.
And everyone did the funny Venom meme. And,
Yeah.
But so he's got some kind of weird worm going around him.
Yeah.
And the last that we see, we're in spoilers. So the last that we see of Butcher, he like kills the stretchy guy.
Like, and he's screaming and stuff. He's all over the place,
Yeah.
like his body parts and stuff. And Butcher's just covered in blood.
What happened?
What happened
We saw
there?
the worm like coming close to his eye. So maybe he does. He did say he souped himself up with V.
Yeah, he tried to use that as a cure kind of thing.
Yeah, so maybe he does have some powers. Maybe his like cancer that he developed from the temp V turned
Yeah.
into like a worm or something that has
Yeah,
real
like
powers.
maybe he's not even. Maybe he's like a Deadpool thing. He's just stuck with
Oh,
cancer, but he has superpowers. Like maybe he can control the tumors of the cancer.
God, that's gonna be so awful. I cannot wait to see where we go with this.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
think?
I'm
Do you think
excited.
Butcher dies?
I think he does.
I do think he dies. I think
I think
maybe like
both him and Homelander will die by the end of it.
I agree. I think it might be like a suicide situation. But yeah, so he's trying to get Ryan away from Homelander, and we've got this whole interesting dynamic with Ryan, how he's sort of being brainwashed now.
Like Ryan is coming into his powers and stuff, and Homelander's like, the humans are playthings, they're toys. You can do what you want with them.
My mouth flew open.
Yeah.
And my jaw hit the ground when they
Yeah.
were doing this like fake first save for Ryan. you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, she's like, save this little girl, and the stunt guy's there. It's okay. You can really throw me. I can take it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really know how bad, how good his powers are at this point. So he just like totally does it for real. And
It kills him. And then Homelander's like, he's crying. He's like, I'm sorry, I'll let you get your own save, but I really think that we should have been on this together. And he goes, I killed Coy. And he goes, that's what you're upset about?
he goes, who wants a creamy, delicious milkshake?
Yeah, he's so so disappointed in you. He takes the milkshake back.
Dude,
But,
and him just being like, "Oh yeah, I thought you were upset that I stole your limelight." It's
Yeah.
like, no, it'll be good for your optics. Trust me, your
Yeah.
numbers will get bumped.
he goes, Coy went out doing what he loved, stunts. I'm pretty sure Coy would have liked to just be alive right now.
The poor man, dude.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to help. He was being very supportive. No one was afraid of Ryan or
Yeah,
anything.
and then he just killed him.
Oh my god. So Ryan's definitely got some. He's full on messed up at this point. you know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely. He accidentally killed his mom.
Yeah.
So
And you got the guy Jeffrey D. Morgan,
yes.
another supernatural alum. We got
Yep.
in the
Eric
boys.
Kripke's like, we're getting the band back together.
Eventually, it'll just be whoever Jared Padalecki's new character will be, and Dean. What was Dean's name?
Soldier Boy,
What was Dean's name? And what's Dean's real name?
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, it'll be Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy. And they're just
Yeah.
gonna be fighting like,
Yeah.
monsters and stuff.
The Vought just causes supernatural events to occur.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And then we'll find Misha Collins' role too.
Yeah, we'll
I'm
get him
surprised he
in
hasn't been here yet.
yeah,
it
that's
seems
very
like his.
shocking. That's what my girlfriend Des was saying too.
Yeah. Maybe by the end of it, he'll just be like a surprise cameo.
They'll
or
do it
something.
like they did with Chuck, who plays God.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
do like with that. You'll see Misha eating his own asshole.
We'll get to that part.
We will. Wild.
But yeah, so Homelander, he's really messed up Ryan in this, and we get Jeffrey D. Morgan. He's like trying to use Ryan as like a
Yeah.
weapon against Homelander.
He's like, we either kill Ryan or we train him up to fight Homelander. And he's like, dog, he's not fighting Homelander anytime soon.
He's barely staying, not depressed. Like,
Yeah.
he's barely staying upright. You know. What I
Yeah,
mean?
it's crazy. So then we get Homelander on the other side of Ryan, and he's having like an existential dread midlife crisis because there's no one really fighting him anymore.
Well, there's no one. There's this very interesting scene in season 4 where we
Yeah.
kind of do get more inner workings where the director of the science lab he was at was like, we trained you, like, you know, beyond all the superpowers, whatever. Our biggest success was getting you to depend on us for, like,
Yeah.
you know, positivity, essentially.
Yeah, you didn't want to disappoint us.
Yeah,
you could have
yeah,
left
yeah.
at any time, but you stayed because you didn't want to hurt our feelings.
So that does give us, and he says he's like over it. He says, "Oh, I don't need that," and he does end up, like, you know,
Yeah.
massacring the whole lab and stuff. And,
Except for her, she left her alive, or he left her alive to really see it.
and to probably like die of starvation or something in that room. He probably locked her
Oh,
in
I
there.
was wondering, can she not get out of that room? You think?
I think it locks me outside, but I don't know. You know,
yeah.
I think it's more of like a metaphorical, like, this is him trying to sever his, like, humanity in a
Yeah.
sense. They keep saying John, and he's like, Homelander, don't call me John.
Yeah, my name's not John.
So he brings
Oh
him
man, that
brings him a
whole
whale.
area. He gets the one guy to go into the oven. He's like, "Why don't you just get in the oven?
God, dude.
Get in there, or I'm gonna put your whole family in there."
There was so much tension in that. Anthony Starr is a good actor. Like,
Dude,
he's
so
phenomenal
good.
in this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he, like, deserves an Emmy or whatever, but, like, I haven't seen anything on TV that deserves it over this, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And then he has the other guy. He's like, "You called me Squirt because you caught me doing, you know."
It's, dude, and, like, it's such a good performance, because even,
Yeah.
like, Homelander's performance, because
Yeah.
he's like, oh, yeah, you know, like, it's clearly messed him up, where he,
Mhm.
like, was caught masturbating, and they all laughed at him for it. And he's just, like, fully, like, gonna kill this man.
Yeah.
And then, like, when he's watching him, and he's like, oh, hey, you got blood on my shoes.
Yeah,
The whole
he's-
thing.
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, man, that's not cool."
Oh my god, it was like it was so intense. Like, this whole show, dude.
It's so funny because he's like, "You get hard, or I'm gonna laser your dick off." And what cracks me up is like, what if he did get hard? He went in there fully intentionally, like, "I'm gonna kill him."
the
You know
guy,
what I
yeah.
mean? So what? Does he just laser him anyway?
I think so. I think this whole thing was just
Also, let's talk about. He tells the one lady, "I swear on my son's life, I'm not gonna kill you." And she goes, yeah. Starlight asked me, done.
immediately dead. And that was you see, was it Sage was like, oh, or was
Yeah.
it was Ashley?
Yeah,
One of the
Ashley
two.
and Sage were both in there, and she was like, Sage wasn't as bothered. Ashley was the one that was like, "Oh my god."
It was so wild to see that. And we knew that was I think I knew that was gonna happen. I was
Yeah.
like, he's promising this, he's gonna kill her anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Homelander, he's got a lot going on. We see that little thing he gets to punch the mirror, and it has like the different shards, and he's
Yeah.
talking to himself.
Definitely, he's got like the different feelings inside of him and stuff.
He's slipping. I think he's definitely slipping. Cheese is
Yeah.
slipping off his cracker, as
Yeah.
someone older than me might say.
He, I've never heard that in my life.
My mom says that.
He went on the VOD on ice.
Oh my god, the Vought on Ice massacre.
Yeah, dude. And half of it wasn't even Homelander. Homelander just starts it, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And they're skating over people, accidentally cutting people's throats and stuff.
I was like, when I was watching this, I was like, this. All fairness, this is a horrible reality where superheroes exist and are corporate, like, you know,
Yeah.
butt plugs. But I was like, this isn't realistic. They wouldn't have. But you know, it makes sense. They're all just like performers. They're on
Yeah.
ice. Like, they've got the sharp thing. Vaught's probably not the most like careful with like safety regulations and stuff anyway. So it does make sense. And he did like straight up laser a guy,
Yeah.
or he lasered somebody. you
Which
know.
they found not guilty, by the way. Homelander. I thought the court case was going to last longer, but it ended up only being like one episode.
Yeah, I think the trial of Homelander was sort of a topical reference.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that just happened to turn out like that, or if that was like an actual like planned out, like timing wise, it worked out perfectly with the Trump stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it just, except in real life, you know, Trump was found guilty. So,
Oh man, but Homelander's losing it. He's Sage. He hires Sage, Sister Sage, because he's like, "You're the only one that'll tell me the truth and stand up to me and stuff." You know, he basically told the Deep to suck off A-Train, and A-Train, the Deep's like, "Loves the spectrum, bro."
he's like, oh, I promise this is
Yeah.
not, you know, you're cool with this, right, man?
Yeah, and Homelander's like, "Get off your knees, dude. Why can't any of y'all actually just say something?"
I'm so glad that they're trying to at least step away from that aspect of Vought in general, because like I am so tired of everyone being like, yes, Homelander, you're correct, everything's right, everything you say is right. Like Sage might get cut, you know,
Yeah.
she might get killed because she's just like standing up to him, but she's clearly like made the calculations in her head, and it's like more
She's doing something devious, dude.
something's going on with her, and I don't know, because she definitely played
Like, what's
Firecracker.
her angle, you know?
She played Firecracker, is that her name?
Yeah, I think so.
She played her to where she would get like hit by Starlight, because she was
Yeah.
all happy and
Yeah.
you know, when she got hit. But yeah, I don't know. I think she's gonna be like the big bad of this season, honestly, and she's kind of like the manipulative one who didn't even want to be part of the Seven, so she doesn't even really want like you know the.
But
the
then
fame.
Homelander is like, "How would you like to put your thoughts and ideas on a global scale?" And she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, I can't say no to that." You know, her brain just continuously grows.
Yeah.
She has to lobotomize herself.
That scene maybe made me the most skittish. And
Yeah.
again, there was a whole scene where like, a bunch of clones were eating each other's asses. And
Oh
this-
my god, yeah.
and this was the scene where I got the most uncomfortable because
Yeah.
the Deep he finds her one night and he's like yelling at her because she is playing him in a different way. She played him to like she's like you're a superhero. You're like the peak of human performance. Like
Yeah.
you're much better than Ashley. And so we see Ashley kind of get it a little bit this season,
Yeah.
you know. And not that I hate Ashley, but like it is nice to see her get
Yeah.
hers a little bit.
But it's just so weird. Like the first scene we see of like them, like Deep comes in there and she's all lobotomized, so they're like making out and stuff, and we see like the bloody needle on it, and I was like, did she just ice pick herself? Did she just lobotomize herself? And I remember messaging you about it.
My first thought was like, oh, she probably killed somebody or something. Maybe she
Yeah.
like eats brains. I didn't know, you know, but
Yeah.
I was like, okay, probably not because she's pretty dumb. I was
Yeah.
like, it probably was a lobotomy.
Yeah, and then the next episode, she has the Deep do it, and I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that at
the
all.
most uncomfortable of it. And then the Deep just goes along with it. He's just
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, this is cool with me.
This is the thing. He wasn't gonna do it, and she goes, "You could eat my ass." To the Kim and the Kim and Jay Z or the Kim and Jay.
Ray
sex
J,
tape.
dude. You don't
Ray
know the
J.
Ray J Kim video,
honestly,
bro?
I don't know who he is at all.
He's just some guy that had sex with Kim Kardashian.
Well, she said that, and he goes,
He's a rapper. I
"Okay,
think,
so
in
do
real
I
life.
just put it in your eyeball? Like, how do I do this?"
She goes, don't actually make me blonde. Just go inside.
Yeah.
here."
And then she goes, and then scrape, and I'm like,
Ugh.
"Oh, please."
No, I was. Here was my reaction. I was like, oh, I was having like this. I don't get like that in movies.
Yeah.
Nothing really makes me
You watched
squirmish anymore.
Hereditary.
I did watch Hereditary. Watch stuff like anyway. I don't want to get too much into it, but I've seen like some pretty horrible stuff on film.
Yeah.
This is like, oh god, she
Yeah.
was like all into it, and like the whole like sexual nature of the Deep being into her being lobotomized.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, the Deep, we know will just fuck anything that moves.
He's got a very touching
God,
relationship with
yeah.
Tilda Swinton Octopus, man.
Yeah. So we got the Deep and A-Train are like the lackeys right now.
Mm-hmm.
A-Train is kind of going good, but like the Deep is just like, yeah, bro, I'll do whatever, man. I'm pretty dumb.
I like how he's like
Give me
trying.
attention.
He's like trying to be on Sister Sage's side at one point, and he's like, "Oh yes," like you
Yeah,
know
he goes,
what I mean?
dope.
she's like, we've rigged all these things. Starlight's gonna be hated. People aren't gonna even know why they hate her, but we've sent
Yeah.
out all these like bots to push the agenda that she's like kidnapping children or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, dope. Like
Yeah,
he's
I
like,
like that. I like that. God, and then, but he's also got like, oh, it creeped me out so much with the octopus in the closet, dude.
I thought it was kind of nice. It was like a
Ambrosia,
nice.
I think his name is. She's like, can you just look at me when you talk to me? And I'm just like, please stop this whole thing.
The
please.
Deep can't get in a good. He can't have like a good relationship. Like
Yeah.
he's just some weird sex pervert because he was the one in the first season that had the weird sex thing with Starlight. Like he
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
he's abusive toward her in that way. And so now he's just like the sex guy. Like he just bangs octopus and fish and dolphins.
Dude, the
whatever it
first
is.
season was just the craziest because he kidnaps the dolphins.
Yeah.
And then they get shot through the windshield and ran over.
Remember the whale? And was it season 2 of the whale?
What happened? Oh, yeah, dude. But then there's also, he's like, I'm going to save the lobster. He's like, I want this one. And then they chop his head off right in front of him. And he goes, oh, my God.
Oh, and then Homelander makes him eat the Timothy, right? The
yeah.
octopus.
Oh, man, dude.
Such a traumatic.
Like, I would
stuff.
feel bad for the Deep if he wasn't such a douche.
The Deep is hard to like. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean he's a very funny like comic character, and him like joining the cult and stuff too in season
Yeah.
3, like the kind of Tom Cruise like
Yeah, dude.
Scientology cult thing was so funny.
The amount of ups and downs that the Deep's character has had is actually pretty phenomenal. I'll give you for a
But
side character.
He's like hiding the octopus, but he's not even really into the octopus. Like he just wants to like. I don't know why he's still keeping her in the closet. He
Yeah.
should just let her go. Cause
yeah, the octopus is like, just come back to the ocean with us. He won't follow you there. You'll be surrounded by people you love.
and he's just not into. I don't know what his deal is, but he's
Yeah,
not.
if I was the Deep, I'd just say, fuck all this. I'm going to the ocean, man.
You actually can't get to me in the ocean. Maybe he could like find him and laser him or something, but like he probably wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't care.
Probably too much effort anyway. But yeah, he keeps Ambrosia his it's Tilda Swinton, by the way.
That is so insane.
We also get a Will Ferrell cameo in the A-Train.
Yes,
biopic.
the train. This is a good pivot to A-Train. So we've got A-Train. He's trying to he's tried reconnecting with his brother and his kids and stuff, and the brother was like, "No, your uncle is a failure. He's a scum. He's never saved anyone in his life. And I don't
Dude.
want you anywhere near him."
Man.
And he's in a wheelchair because of A-Train and because of Blue Hawk and stuff. So A-Train just wants. A-Train doesn't know what he wants. You know what I mean? He wants to be better, but he doesn't know how. But he also doesn't want to get killed by Homelander.
I think A-Train is like A-Train and the Deep are on two opposite, like they're the yin and the yang
Yeah.
for me. Like Deep is just like this kind of scummy evil dude that's gonna be scummy and evil, but it's very dumb and like,
I don't
whatever.
think he's even evil. I think he's just a dick. You
I
know?
think he's been kind of raised. He's been positioned to be evil. Like,
Yeah.
he's working along with Vought. He's doing all the stuff that Homelander.
He just wants to be accepted, and he's going about it the wrong way.
Yeah,
I think is the thing.
I think you're probably right about that. But they all like kill those people in the beginning when they're trying to like incite the riot and
he's
stuff.
like, "Oh, this is another test. You want us to say no?" And he's like, "No, Deep. I want you to beat them to death."
God. But then A-Train like is the one that zips him on over there and stuff. So I think he feels bad about that because he gives him all the evidence about how that wasn't the case.
And he's working for now.
He's like been flipped essentially, but not like maybe not fully.
No, not fully for sure.
We do see like him help Huey, and I think the whole reason he's helping the boys in the beginning was because he felt bad about killing Huey's girlfriend all that time ago. Which is crazy. That like, do you forgive A-Train? Are you back on his side, or how do you feel about A-Train?
I don't know, man. It's really hard to excuse the things he's done. I can see where he's trying to be better, and I can respect that. I don't know if forgiveness is an option or just kind of just platonically, okay, you're chill now. I can't forgive you, but I understand you're trying to make it better, You mean
like for Huey or for you, like your personal opinion?
Both in general. Like I could, if I was Huey, I could never forgive him, but I could see where he was trying to be a better person. You know what I mean?
I like that Huey does like he's like I can't hold on to that hate any longer.
Yeah,
and everything. And we'll kind of I guess we'll talk about Huey kind of after A-Train, but
yeah.
But A-Train, he's doing this like biopic where it's like this completely fake idea of like, it's like The Blind Side where a white savior kind of comes and gets him. And they even mentioned Blind Side. Will Ferrell's like, was it too Blind Side?
And they're like, no, it was perfect. And you said doesn't. You need to say don't.
Yeah, very racially forward with that whole thing.
He's like, why am I a drug dealer? I was never a drug dealer. It's like, no, it works. It works for the scene.
He's like, well, my only coach was my brother who like Vought crippled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's like, I want my brother as the trainer. Even if you're acting. He's like, no, this is better. This is definitely better.
This plays to a wider audience or whatever it was. Oh my god.
Oh, dude, it's so
scummy.
It's scummy, dude. It's so scummy.
But I think very realistic, frankly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We can talk about Noor just briefly. Noor died in the last season, so they just replaced him with an actor. And this guy is the funniest guy ever. You don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I don't know my motivations. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And they're like, shut the fuck up, Noor. You've talked more now than you have the entire series.
What's so funny is the first time he talks, because he doesn't say anything. He's kind of acting like Black Noir for the first bit of it. And then he's like, afterwards, he was the first one to like hit anybody with the bat. And then he just like, after Homelander leaves, he goes, oh my God, guys, that was so messed up. Are we going to have to keep doing stuff like that?
Yeah, that was crazy, bro. And we're like, hold the fuck up. What is going on here?
And he just keeps trying to get motivation for his role. Like, this is like an acting gig for him.
And everyone's like, shut up, shut up. There's one part like you were talking about. He's like, Homelander's like, okay, everyone gather around. Noor, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I love that too. He's like, they moved me into Black Noir's like house, and he's got a dojo in there, but he didn't really do karate. He just kind of like ripped into people. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, can I learn karate? Essentially?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do?
Fucking crazy, dude.
But yeah, I like the whole 7, man, because we're saving a spot for Ryan. Essentially, is what kind of Homelander says. So we've only got 6
Firecracker,
so far.
which is like she's the truth bomb. She's like the Alex
Jones
type
kind of
thing.
Marjorie Taylor Greene a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's what he said was he was directly tying her to that.
She's been given a platform, but she is this very radical right.
And she doesn't even believe it. She told Sister Sage, she's like, no, I'm just trying to give them something to believe in. And it, spurs me on,
She's definitely a horrible racist anyway, either way. But like she's one of those characters too where it's like it feels realistic, very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get the guy, the lackey that follows her around. He's like the multiple man
who plays
guy.
God in Supernatural.
Yeah. Chuck.
Yeah.
Biggest plot twist of all. I think the stupidest plot twist for me.
Really?
I didn't like that plot twist in Supernatural.
Yeah. Well, then he ends up being the big bad for the final season.
I know. Yeah, it's odd. Anyway, Supernatural is a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But they walk in on him.
They walk in on 7 of him.
And they're
on
all
an ass-eating train. And then the main guy's jerking off to a picture of Firecracker.
How many's enough? Like one would be enough, right? You don't need 7 of them to do a whole train.
I guess he was like, oh, I got to give one for him. Oh, okay, you want one too. And then, someone's going to have to not get their ass ate.
The poor guy at the end is just got, they have pink eye too.
Yeah, dude, come on, dude. Oh, it was so gross. So gross.
And that's a cool fight scene too when they're all fighting in the in Firecrackers like backstage or whatever. And they get bust into like a bar mitzvah or something.
I think it was a play on they have a Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh yeah, for Amazon. It's like an Amazon show. Yeah, that whole scene is very creative. Whenever I see scenes like that with the multiple man guy, I always think about how Amazon had to create like an S&P just for
Mm-hmm.
standards and practice just for the
Yep.
boys.
So we got Firecracker just stirring the pot and
Yeah.
like being a foil to Starlight because they were in the pageantry, just superhero pageants together as a kid, and Starlight like spread slander on her and stuff.
But what's interesting is like she's not like, I mean, she is like obviously dragging Starlight through the mud, but like a lot of the stuff she says about her is false, like how she's abducting kids or whatever. Like there's teenagers at her like halfway house that they're like helping. And she's like, "Oh yeah, they're abducting those kids." One guy like walks in there and
He's like,
gun.
"Where are the kids in the basement?" And they're like, "We don't have the kids in the basement."
It's wild that they didn't even have like a security system or any like security
Yeah.
like detail to
Yeah,
work on that. But like Frenchie ends up stopping him and stuff. But
yeah,
dude, that's wild. It feels very realistic. All of it feels very realistic. Firecracker, they end up. I think Sage brings her on because of the Starlight connection. Like you were saying.
absolutely.
And then we got the whole like the last episode we just watched, episode 4. She's like up on stage doing this like big tell-all thing, and it's been like broadcasted over VNN, like the big news network and everything.
For 6 hours, she's talking.
Yeah. And so Starlight's just watching. It's like right across the road from the Starlight Foundation too. And so like Starlight, eventually they leak the details that Starlight had an abortion. And Starlight's like, okay, that's it. I'm going over there and beating ass.
Yeah.
Like that's in Mother's Milk. He like kind of has to stop her because she's gonna beat her to death. Like,
Yeah.
she's going in.
Oh, 100%.
And he's just like look what's like they're filming this. Like this is all intentional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
They
wanted you to
they
do
got
this.
you, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Yeah, Vought is crazy this season. So we can talk about Starlight too. From all that, she's struggling a lot. She doesn't want to be Starlight. She just wants to be Annie January. But the everyone's like, you need to be Starlight to rally the people. You know. So after the whole verdict of Homelander, Sister Sage like starts a riot. And she comes down there, and after that, she's like, okay, fine. I'll wear the suit if I have to. I'll be Starlight. I'll try to get people on my side. And she even goes to Robert Singer's character, the president, and is like, I'll be your beacon if you need to. Just make sure we put Vought down. And then all this stuff with Sister Sage happens, and it's like, oh, crap. You know, even her constituents are like, you blinded those people that you saved in the supermarket?
So, dude, yeah, it's so scummy, too, because the president guy's like, he's like, you just took a huge swath of my Republican voters when like, because you had an abortion, essentially.
Yeah,
so, like,
absolutely.
I cannot be affiliated with you anymore. The VP's on TV, like, kind of denouncing the president for having that action. They were going to push this whole big superhero control bill where they get them out of the military and all that stuff. Put them back in entertainment, you know?
Yeah, it just backs. It just blows up in their face because
there's no way it passes with all the stuff that just happened, yeah.
Oh, man, Starlight has to go through the ringer with that. And like I said, she blinded those people. She was like 13. I was still trying to figure out my powers. And it's like, you blinded 2 people?
At a Walmart?
Yeah, what the heck, bro? I'm never going to Walmart again. I could go blind.
And it does make you realize, like, all the superheroes are sort of a liability in any way. Like even the good ones,
because they're not actually trained in anything, you know?
No, they're just people that were injected with a compound, and like for the most part, they are actors.
Yeah.
And I guess she didn't have like the big setup like the rest of them do, so she was probably like, "Oh, this is a hostage situation. I should probably go help."
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't happen like as often as superhero comics would lead you to believe, but like something like The Boys, where maybe a guy holds up a Walmart or something. It's like, okay, you can actually help here.
Yeah.
You don't have to just like do your pageant. And obviously, she didn't know how to use her powers and stuff, so it was still like a hazard. I will say though, I think the Starlight stuff, her character, for whatever reason, to me, felt a little underbaked. Like I think this was probably the weak part of the season for me.
Yeah, she definitely didn't have nearly a front and center line, because most of the other seasons she's actively like fighting against Homelander, doing more espionage within the 7 kind of thing. Now that she's not in the 7, she's not, I don't want to say as useful, but kind of not as useful.
Well, we get like, I think the more interesting stuff with Starlight, unfortunately, is the conversation around her, like how she's become this huge political figure, and like Starlighters are kind of like SJWs in like this world. Like they've kind of adopted into like the negative aspect of that character, even though they're just trying to help, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like she's got this like halfway house to like help kids that need help, and then she ends up getting called like a child trafficker.
She works with Oprah and Tom Hanks.
No, I don't have as much evidence on Tom Hanks, but it's true.
And she goes, "You order a hot dog as a boy, and a taco's a girl."
God, dude, I saw people on Twitter be like, "I can fix her." It's like,
dude.
Suck. What are you talking about, dude?
I did love too. She came out because they had the dirt on her about being with an underage kid.
Oh
so
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go get on top of it. So she comes out and admits it, and she's trying to say, "I found the Lord. I've done this stuff." How are you gonna preach about like forgiveness and stuff, and then bring up but Starlight had an abortion, and that's not something you can come back from. Never mind the fact that I was 28 sleeping with a 15-year-old.
Yeah, the boys were going to blackmail her, but they wanted her to do something for them.
Yeah, and she was like, nope, we'll just send that, and then I'll go out there and, take care of it.
But it's so true because, like, anything that happens nowadays with these figures are so politicized.
Mm-hmm.
One way or the other, you're going to have someone having, like, a really positive or very negative reaction to someone controversial, like it's Starlight or
absolutely.
Firecracker, whoever.
The way that he weaves, Eric Kripke weaves the social commentary in the show is just really good.
And it's not subtle. Like, they've been
it's definitely
doing
not
this.
subtle.
Yeah.
It's over the top, but in such a way that you're like,
Like, they mentioned, like, Jeffrey Epstein and all this stuff, and they always, like, they said
like Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself kind of thing.
Yeah. They've been, like, making very, like, Twitter comments, I feel like. They've been making very, like, topical references. Like, they've been doing that, and I think that's what works to tell the story, in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely works.
Will it age well? Maybe not as well as something like Invincible. It's, like, less pop culture focused, but I think this is going to hold up in that regard. Like, it's still very, like, the story's told very well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the rest of the boys, they've got their own thing going on. We've got a whole, like, thing with Huey and his dad, right? Like,
his dad had a seizure or a stroke, and so he's on life support. We meet his mom again.
Yeah.
Which I don't like the addition of the mom, because she basically says, like, I was postpartum, I had depression, so my best bet was to leave. And it's like, no, like, yeah, you have depression. I'm not saying that's bad, but you're the mom. You don't just leave your son because you're not feeling good. And I know that's an understatement. I get, depression's a big thing, but, like, it's your job as a mom to make sure your son's cared for. You know what I mean?
It is nice.
Like, go get help. Go see a therapist and stuff.
Yeah.
She was like, no, I was just dealing with it. Because she never mentions going to get help. She's just like, I guess the best way to do it was just remove myself from the situation. No, your best bet is to go see therapy, go see a doctor, get on some medication, and be there for your kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's interesting. It's nice that we get that explanation for Huey. Like,
yeah.
Huey's been there with his dad all the whole time, and for whatever reason, the dad gives the mom power of attorney and all that stuff.
Yeah, dude, because, like, they've been talking for the past year and a half or 2 years or something.
But I guess maybe Huey just, like, doesn't ever reach out to his dad or something. I assume
he talks every now and then. He said because every time they call, he's just talking about the new James Patterson books.
And he's like, Dad, whenever you wake up, I'll promise I'll read all that stuff.
Yeah.
So now who's gonna? I think the mom put V in.
Oh, 100%. She put the V in there.
Because, he had the V with him that he got from
but he took his jacket off, and I guess he kept it in the first jacket.
He went to go get coffee, came back, and there was a little bit of blue going through his
No, it was definitely the mom. Then you've got Kimiko, which I've loved Kimiko through all 4 seasons. I don't know how they did it, but she has not said a single word, and I vibe with her so much. She's just such a cool character, such a badass.
I think about, like, you hear people on social media a lot complain about, like, this is a diversity hire. Why is this character in a wheelchair? Why is this character mute? Why can't why is it, you don't ever hear that with, like, Daredevil, though, because he's a good, like, interesting character. I think if you make the character interesting, you're not going to get those criticisms.
Yeah, so you've got, like, Kimiko or Echo. You know what I mean?
Check out our Echo review to see how well we like that show.
We hated it. Spoilers.
but Kimiko is one of those characters where at least she's, like, got a personality. Her personality shines through, even though she doesn't talk.
Yeah. She was on YouTube for a while too, doing cooking stuff, and I watched a few of her videos. I was like, she's a cool person. I really like this lady.
I've really enjoyed all the cast stuff with the season 4 promos.
Dude,
like they were talking about, like one of them was like, I did basketball for, I think it was the senator lady.
It was Kimiko. No, it was Kimiko. She did it for like 11 years. And A-Train's character was like, how did you not get better? But anyway, back to Kimiko. She's having trouble. She wants to start speaking, but she can't because she's so traumatized from her past. So she's like, I'm going to fix my past by going and killing all the people that were in my past. Isn't that going to be a great idea? Yeah. And like Frenchie went with her, but he's high off his ass, so he's just seeing like bubbles come out of their heads, and
he's going through his own demons. Yeah.
Yes, dude. So then, so she's killing everybody. She finds someone that she recruited to the cause, and she's like, "I hate you," kind of thing. And so,
wasn't it her sister?
I don't think it was her sister. She was just she raised because she was a kid, and she grabbed her and like recruited her.
They went into that at some point in the show. Maybe season 2 or 3 we got more backstory on that.
She had an actual brother who got killed by
was it a brother?
Stormfront or whatever her name is.
Oh yeah, the Nazi.
Yeah. Because she calls him like a yellow rat bastard or something like that. Like all the racial stereotypes you can do. But so she's having that, but Frenchie I think has the worst of the boys problems.
Frenchie just always be going through it,
Yeah.
man. Like in one season, he's like trying to sever himself from this like French mob thing.
Russian mob.
It was a Russian
Yeah,
mob.
it was the Russian mob.
He's just, but that even kind of comes back to the lady that was.
Yeah.
He hallucinates this lady like still. She's like, well,
Yeah.
I cut you off. You're just doing all this stuff because you're a bad person, you know.
Yeah, well, because he has like a semi-love interest with Kimiko in the past few seasons, and they kind of square that away. Like, no, we're just friends, but we love
Yeah.
each other, but we're not going to be together. So then he gets a love interest with this dude. Turns out he's the one that killed this dude's whole family, his
Yeah.
sister and his parents. I'm like, Frenchie, come on, bro.
At
What
least
are you
don't
doing?
seduce him afterwards. What
Yeah,
what are you doing?
What? Because they meet up in like a junkies, like an AA type thing,
Yeah.
right? And then he finally tells the dude, he's like, "I'm the one that killed your parents. I'm the one that killed your sister." And
He
the
feels
guy's
guilty because he's been all beat up to hell, and the guy's
like, "Yeah, he's
helping
like,
him.
stop being nice to me. Just stop." And he tells him, "It's like, bro, why would you tell him? Also, why would you have sex with this man?
He had to do something.
He's
dude.
off limits, Frenchie. Obviously, you know what I mean."
Yeah, he calls the lady that was assumedly his like lady friend beforehand, or
Yeah.
she's like on a Zoom, she's on a Skype call essentially. She's just like, "You're not banging this guy after you killed his family, are you?"
Yeah. They were like, "The judge's kid? You're with him?" And we're like, "Wait, who's the judge? What's going on?" Turns out the Russian mob, the judge was going after them, and so she sicked Frenchie on them. And Frenchie's very good at what he does, you know what I mean?
Very, very good. I will say there was some controversy about him being bisexual, but like he's always been.
Yeah,
I've
you
got
seen
that
Frenchie?
vibe. Yeah,
He's French. That's just
all
saying
French
that.
people are bisexual.
They're very open with their love, you know what I mean?
Anyway, I didn't think it was a big jump at all to be like, oh
No, not at
yeah,
all.
he's
People-
definitely with this.
And people are getting so mad. I'm like, this whole show is just over the top. What are you getting mad about right
Yeah.
now? This is a weird thing to pick on. You know what I mean?
I do think it's interesting. It's one of those shows that like everyone loves, you
Yeah.
know, even if you're like left or right or like whatever your politics are, whatever
Yeah.
your personal feelings are. I think everyone's like you've got people from every side of the aisle watching The Boys,
Yeah.
so like, you're gonna get criticism from every
What
side.
cracks me up is the right people, the people on the right, are like, "Oh, their show's making fun of me," and then the people on the left, like, "Yeah, they are," and it's like, bro, you're getting made fun. You're getting made fun of too. This isn't like
This isn't a safe place for anybody.
no one
this
is
South
safe.
Park,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like, "Yeah, you're stupid. This is all about making fun of you," and it's like, "Oh, brother, poor brother."
it's really just like anti-politics
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
It's very like
It's anti-stupidity essentially.
there you go. It's like a very realistic take on all this stuff. But
Yeah.
we've said that before. It's a little too realistic. Like it's kind of hard
Yeah.
to like super love it when you're
Yeah,
like,
because it puts you like it's such a heavy show for me because last season that came out, season 3, it came out around the same time that Invincible came out, or one of the
think
seasons.
so,
did.
yeah.
One of them
we
was
were
like
comparing them heavy. Yeah.
yeah, and I was just like, man, I would rather watch like 3 seasons of Invincible because The Boys is just too real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Invincible, at least there's hope and there's heroes doing stuff. They just happen to die every now and then.
Yeah.
The Boys, superheroes aren't a thing. They're just all celebrities, and it just was so depressing to me. You know?
Well, I think too another big difference is like Invincible is a superhero. He's a straight up good person.
Yeah.
He's a superhero, and the negative things are mainly just the consequences of him trying to be a hero.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately, I mean, it's depressing and it's sad, but like ultimately it's more uplifting than something like this, where like both sides of the aisle are very bad. Like Butcher's doing espionage and like all this horrible stuff. He's selling out his friends and doing all this terrible stuff. He's just to get at Homelander and all the Supes. And then you also got the Supes who are like corporate, like
Yeah.
lapdogs. They're just awful, terrible people.
Yeah.
But we love the show. We
Yeah,
don't-
it's amazing. It's just so heavy, man.
it is very heavy.
And it's so shocking at times. I'm watching it with my girlfriend, and we're just like, "Oh my god, did they really just do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, they just did that." Man.
Do you think it's a little too shocking? Like I know they're doing stuff to shock you for like.
I think season 4 has been the most like parallel to like our world.
Oh yeah, but I just feel like stunts, like with the guy going in the guy's other penis, or
No, I think the shock factor's there. I think Eric Kripke's always been a little freak when it came to that. But
he's probably like, oh, I do this online. This isn't like on actual
he's
television.
like, I can do this for a living. Bet. You know, like he wanted to do it with Supernatural, but they're like, oh, it's a CW, it's a public channel,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't do all that. So Amazon hit him up, and you know we've talked about it. Amazon didn't have one of those.
the standards and practices.
Yeah, standards and practices. They created that in Amazon because of Eric Kripke and the boys. You know what I mean?
That's so funny to me that they're just like they're so depraved. That I will say it's given a little bit like, oh, we're edgy kind of
Yeah,
vibe. You know what I
it
mean?
definitely is. But I think because it's Eric Kripke and he acknowledges it, that
Yeah.
it's like it's okay. You know what I mean?
And I think it's not like super Shadow the Hedgehog. It's
No.
not like this is the edgiest thing you'll
this
ever
isn't,
see.
yeah, this isn't the dog with the Daredevil mask. You know?
It's approaching those levels, but I think the story is so good and the characters are so realistic and nice. It's not nice, you know what I mean. Like they're well written characters that I think it does follow through and become just like it transcends like the edginess.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's it.
Go watch The Boys. We're gonna stick around for the next 4 episodes and then do a recap at the end of the show. If you liked this content, you like Amazon original superhero evil Superman shows, click over on this side of the screen right here. We've got Invincible reviews. If you like the more kind of friendly, not as harsh content, we have YouTube original stuff. We're doing like tier lists and fun stuff like that. Go ahead and subscribe in the middle here, guys. We'll see you at the next 4 episodes.
Yep. See ya.